Ask you a question about this. These people from the State Department, they all sound so reasonable and so forth. They knew from their own internal documents and surveys, their own intelligence estimates, that Iraq did not have these weapons of mass destruction that were described. Your own film makes it very clear that they did not think Iraq was connected with Al-Qaeda and bin Laden and so forth. They never went public with this information. Now we watch a film in which they said it was all done wrong and it would alienate the people and so forth. At what point in a democracy do they have an obligation, not to tell a filmmaker many years after, but in real time, that your tax dollars are being used for purposes different than the ones that you were told that were justified? Do they have an obligation to stand up to power and speak truth to power in real time?
Well, I certainly would say that they have an obligation to speak truth to power. They did so to a certain extent. They did so inside the administration. Colin Powell, Richard Armitage, and Larry Wilkerson, who were the three senior people in the State Department at the time, all three of them, ironically, former career military officers, when none of the civilians running the Pentagon had any military experience whatsoever. They did speak up about a number of issues, including troop levels and the requirements of an occupation. And they were heard to a certain extent, but for the most part, their concerns were dismissed and overridden by the Pentagon and by Vice President Cheney's office, and to some extent by the President.
No, but Powell and Armitage are people who supported the administration. Powell did it publicly at the UN. I'm just curious. I mean, it seems a certain self-righteousness. The neocons were bad guys and screwed up, and we knew all along the right thing. Well, the fact is, the American public was deceived as to the reasons for the war. Your film makes that quite clear. This was not a logical response to the attack of 9/11 and Al-Qaeda. And these people knew that, and they never informed the public. And I just wonder whether, at the end of the day, how come they get to look so wonderful as they do in your movie?
I have some concerns about those issues as well, and in my interview with Armitage, I pushed him pretty hard on it. Most of that material doesn't show in the film. It's in the book that I just finished writing, and it's going to be put up on a website, the full text of all of the interviews that we conducted. And in the interview with Armitage, I pushed him quite hard, and I asked him why he didn't resign, for example. His answer was that he basically believed in invading Iraq and deposing Saddam Hussein. And while he had concerns about the timing, he felt that it was too soon after Afghanistan, he had concerns about troop levels, that he did not fundamentally question the correctness of the decision to use military force to depose Saddam.
This program is brought to you by Link TV for educational and non-commercial use only. Link TV is the only U.S. network dedicated to global and national news, uncompromising documentaries, and diverse cultural programs. Programs which connect you to the world.